Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have I guess you can call it a review, test and review of a new product that I've just purchased, and it is this product right here. It is a digital pH pen tester. Now I'm going to be using this on my aquariums, of course, but yeah, they do have other uses. I think people use them in swimming pools, and I think also with drinking water or cooking or something like that. So they have a couple of uses. Now I've been keeping fish for nearly 40 years and I've never used one and I've never had one. So I'm pretty excited to finally have one. Now a disclaimer about this individual pen here. It was $16.99, so it's definitely not expensive. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. People have always told me that not to bother buying any of these cheap pH pens. I do actually have a TDS and temperature one that I bought many years ago that I use religiously, and that's been really good. That was a little bit more expensive, but I do use that a lot, and I rely on that for my TDS readings and temperature readings. Don't actually use thermometers of any kind. I just use that one. But I bought this off Amazon. Now, I don't think it had an official brand name. I think it was just called pH Tester or pH Pen Tester. As you can see there, it just has pH written on it. There were some other pens on there that did have actual brand names. They were all around the same price though. But this was, I think, the only blue one. So if you see this one on Amazon, it's probably it. Now I got it today, so I haven't actually even had a play with it yet, but that's what this video is going to be all about. Now it came in this case here, which is pretty cool. And it comes with some calibration fluids here. That was actually one of the reasons why I bought it. It actually came with 3 calibration fluids. Again, I'm not sure if this is going to be a good thing or a bad thing. And it's come with some instructions. Now, for today, obviously, I have my actual pen, which is going to be doing the testing. And I'm going to be comparing that to the readings on my API test kit, which is this one right here. Now, this is the test kit I've always used. Well, pretty much always the API one. I have used a couple of other brands as well, but I quite like the API brands. Obviously, I'm going to be using this chart here, which is the chart that comes with it. Obviously, there's always a bit of a hit and miss factor with these colors, interpreting what your reading is compared to the chart. But hopefully, if it's a ballpark figure with the pen and the test kit, I'm going to be very happy. Now, I'm not sure whether you're supposed to calibrate this pen every time you do a test. That could be the case. That could be why people don't like them and don't use them. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't even read through the instructions yet, but I assure you I will before I go much further into the video. But here's the instructions here. Whoa. As you can see here, it has a range of 0 to 14. I don't think we'll be needing to go to either of those extremes, although I do have an African tank we're going to be testing it on. Now, it does say an accuracy of 0.01, which is pretty decent. I think if it is that accurate, that's great. Comes with a couple of batteries. The operating temperature is up to 60 degrees, so I guess that's for when you're doing like cooking or swimming pools or something. I mean, I don't know if a swimming pool is going to be 60 degrees, but 3 points of calibration, which is the fluids, I presume. And there's your dimensions and the weight. So it seems pretty standard. Now, it does come with the instructions here. Whoa, nearly knocked her off the table there. Now, it does come with the instructions here of how to calibrate it. And it's got the calibration chart here. So I'm going to be doing, obviously, a calibration on it. And I also have my coffee here as well, which I'm just going to quickly take a sip. Now, let's have a look at the 4 tanks that I'm going to be doing. So that'll give you a bit of an idea of the the tanks I'm doing and the order I'm going to do them in, and when I refer to them, what tanks I'm talking about. Now, I pretty much have an idea already of what all of them are going to be, but of course, first off, we're going to do a API test on all of them, and I'm going to give you a bit of a look at the color chart there. Then I'm going to go and do my calibration, and then I'm going to come through each one with you, and we're going to have a look at what the reading is that I get on the pen. So I think this should be a pretty fun test. I'm pretty excited about this. So let's have a look at the tanks quickly. Okay, so the first tank I'm going to be doing is my shrimp tank, which of course doesn't have shrimp in it yet. It's still cycling. I have a pretty fair idea of what the pH is on this because I'm testing it quite regularly. It's going to be pretty low. And yeah, so that's going to be my test number one. I'm going to start off with what I think is going to be the lowest test. Okay, then I'm going to be doing the wasabi tank. Then I'm going to be doing the fighter tank. And last but definitely not least will be my African cichlid tank. And as you can see, I haven't fed them yet, so they're pretty excited. Okay, so I now will go and get my water samples for the test kit. I'm going to, when I do take a water sample, I'm just going to leave that with the tank so I don't get anything mixed up. And then we're going to take a reading. I'm going to have a look at them all. And then we'll go onto the pen. But first of all, yeah, I'm going to do my pH test with the liquid form. Okay, I'm going to go in, well, there's not much of a prize for guessing which tank this one is, but I'm going to be going in reverse order, as this was the tank I did last, so it's the one we'll just have a quick look at first. Now, this is, of course, my African tank. For those of you that don't know, Africans require a high pH, which is really great because you can just buff the hell out of it, and they're happy as Larry. I've been keeping Africans now for probably, I guess, close on 20 years, and yeah, absolutely love them. Now you can check out my channel. I'll put a link below to the playlist of my aquariums. I've got some videos on that tank if you're interested to know more. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. As you can see, we're in the vicinity of what we need for Africans, which is basically, I think this test only goes to 7.6, and then it just says that's it. It's probably higher than that. But yeah, as you can see, the African tank is, let's just say, over 7.6. Okay, so the second tank we're going to have a look at is the fighting fish tank. Now, of course, that does have some other fish in it. Now, this one is a little bit trickier, but I would say it's probably around the 6.8 to 7 range. It's maybe just under 7, somewhere around there, if you agree. Maybe put a message below, but I'm thinking it's probably around the 6.8, 6.9 would be my guess. Okay, now to the wasabi tank. I know it's not called a wasabi style tank. That's just what I call it. Someone out there can correct me. Now, both this tank and my shrimp tank do have some soil inside them, which definitely does lower the pH. So this one's probably a little bit harder. Now, this is why I really would like the pen to work, because these lower readings is what I'm actually more interested in. I would imagine this reading is probably around that 6.6, something around there. Now, at the moment, that just has some neon tetras in it. Probably looking to put another fighter in that later. I do have another fighter anyway. Anyway, getting sidetracked again. Yeah, I'm guessing that's, well, not really guessing. I think that's pretty much 6.6. Okay, and last but not least is my shrimp tank. Now, as you can see, I wouldn't say it's completely yellow, but it's close enough. Now, I've been sort of reading this as 6.4. I am still in the process of setting that tank up. It's still cycling, and I'm trying to get my readings to be optimum for shrimp. So I did want it to be reasonably low. It's probably not quite coming out. Oh yeah, there you go. That's probably a bit better angle. It's not really quite yellow, and it's got a tinge of green. I'm thinking it's about the 6.4 range. It is pretty low. So I've still got a little bit of work to do with that tank. I actually wanted about 6.6 if possible, but yeah, I've only had that tank set up a couple of weeks now. I'm still sort of mucking around with it a little bit, but that soil definitely lowers it. I also have an almond leaf in there and some cholla wood, which certainly doesn't help. But yeah, I'm very interested to know what the pen says about this. It's not really coming out on the screen very well there, but it's, yeah, I think it is above 6. It's actually a little bit greener in person than what it is on the screen right now. But yeah, like I said, I'm very interested to know. Okay, so now we have our readings for all of our tanks. I'm going to try my best to do a calibration on this. And then we're going to go along to each tank and do a bit of a comparison. So this is on to the exciting bit. So I'm going to leave you for a moment and I'll rejoin you soon. All right, so just to show you that I am... Oh, sorry, my mistake. Just to show you that I am doing the calibration here. You can see I've got the packets. I've got 250 ml of water in each of these, and I've dissolved each packet into them, and I've clearly marked them as each one, which is basically what it says to do here. So my next step now is to clean the electrode with distilled water and try it. Now how easy that's going to be, I'm not too sure. Now I also am using tap water, not distilled water. So that could throw off these readings, but I don't have any distilled water. So yeah, I'm just going to go by that. I don't use distilled water in my aquariums either, so I'm hoping that is going to work. Someone out there probably right now is going, no, it's a waste of time. Well, it might be. But yeah, so now it does say on the packets here that it wants the water to be 25 degrees. Now, today's warmish. I am going to go get my thermometer and give them a bit of a reading. I'm thinking they're probably going to be a bit cooler than that, maybe around the 20 degrees, as that it was straight from the tap. But I'm going to see what the temperature is, and maybe I may even just leave it for a few more minutes and let them warm up a little bit. Don't really know how else to warm them up. I could sit them on top of my African tank, I guess, on top of the lights there. Yeah, I might do that on top of the lid. They will get a bit warmer. I'm not sure how this calibration is going to work, but yeah, I'm going to give it a go anyway. So next time you see me, we'll start testing the tanks with a calibrated pH pen. Okay, so my first reading is the shrimp tank. Now, the calibration seemed to go pretty good, but the initial calibration was pretty good. The second one was a little bit off, and the third one was quite a bit more off. So not sure how accurate this is going to be. Anyway, I get a 4.37 reading for my pH in the shrimp tank. It's a little bit less than what I think it is, but let's try the wasabi. Okay, so this is the wasabi tank. That is saying 4.64. Again, that's quite a bit lower than what I think it should be reading. Now it did say to stir it and leave it for 30 seconds. So I have done that, so it should be giving me a pretty accurate reading. Let's try the fighter tank. Okay, he's going to investigate. Now this one is, I don't know if I can get a good enough picture, there you go, is around the 520, so it's around 1 more pH than the previous two, or something equivalent to that. So the African tank is probably going to be the most interesting, can't really get it there, there we go, is going to be the most interesting result, so let's have a look at that. Yeah. Okay, now just to show you between tanks, I'm washing it and drying it off, so it's back to 0. So now I'm going to do my African tank. Now, I didn't bring a jacket, but my fish are very hungry right now. And please excuse the meter or the pen being jumped all over the place while my Africans try and eat it, because I imagine that's what they're going to do. Ah, now there you go. So it's going back to 0 there. So maybe a little bit of... it's going a bit crazy. Okay, let's try that again. Maybe there's still a little bit of water in there. Or maybe not. Okay, onto the African tank. Okay, now, I've just been laughing quite a bit. Now, as you can tell, this tank definitely does not have a pH of 5.60. That's actually quite funny. Now, I have it has been sitting here for a while, so the fish have calmed down a little bit now. As you can see, they're pretty excited to have something new sticking in the tank. They have tried to eat it, working out that it's... no, some of them are still testing it out. So as you can see, that's quite a bit off. There's no way that this tank has a pH just slightly above what the other tanks have, or let alone the fighter tank. So I'm going to go back to the calibration now and just see what, when I put it back in the calibration fluid, what it comes up with. Okay, now, as you can see, we've got a different reading here. Now, I think I was turning it off and on between readings. Now, I think that may have reset it. I think you wash it off and dry it between readings. I calibrated it then and had to recalibrate it because it was off. Now, I reckon around 8 would actually be about right for this tank. So I'm going to do the same again. Now, of course, this is the African tank. Yeah, I reckon that's about 8. I reckon we could be about right there. So I'm going to wash it and dry it again, and we're going to go back and redo these tanks. Okay, so the fighter tank now is reading around the 7.2, 7.3. Look, I think that could be a bit over ambitious, but look, I don't think that would be super far off. That's quite interesting. So I'm going to actually rinse it off this time, recalibrate it again. If I can get the, sorry, these lights are really mucking up with my camera. And I'm going to try the wasabi. Now, see, now it's reading a bit better. I reckon it's actually pretty accurate now. So I'm going to give it a wash off, recalibrate, and then we're going to do the wasabi. Okay, so this is the wasabi tank. Now I'm just doing a bit of hands-free here. Now, obviously, it is upside down right now, but I think 6.6 is nearly 100% correct for this tank. I can't believe it. Wow, that's pretty amazing. I think that's pretty much right now. As I was rinsing it off in my tap water, it was going reading about 7 now. Our tap water is neutral, pretty much. So that's very interesting. I think it's pretty accurate. So now, lastly, is my shrimp tank. Now, it should, I believe, drop down to maybe 6.2, 6.4. So it's going to be a pretty good test. Okay, so again, the light is hurting me a bit here. Now, it is saying this tank is around the 6.63. Now, I don't think that that's right. I think it's a bit lower than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another recalibration, and then we'll have a quick look at this tank again. Okay, I think we're a little bit closer to the mark now. Now I'm having a bit of trouble calibrating it. It's calibrating to the first two numbers, which from memory are 6.86, and then the 4 are both calibrating. But the 9.18, for some reason, it's just not calibrating. I'm getting a reading of about 8.9, and it's not reading that I'm calibrating it to the 9. So I'm tipping that it's going to be just a little bit under. That would be my guess, but I reckon it's pretty damn accurate now. I think I'm around that 6.2 mark. So I actually think this pen is pretty accurate. So let's quit that for a moment and we'll go back to the science desk. Okay, so this video ended up being a lot longer than, than I thought it was going to be. So, okay, I'm actually pretty happy with the pen. It is a bit of a bummer that you've got to recalibrate it, I think, as much as you do. But I think if you want accurate readings, you've sort of got to do that. Just straight after doing the shrimp tank then, I popped it back into the calibration and rinsed it off and calibrated, rinsed it off. And the readings actually were pretty damn close. It's not picking up. I actually got a reading of 9.1 or 0.1, and it still wouldn't calibrate to the 916. So I think that's maybe part of the problem with the accuracy. It's just not calibrating on that that third solution. Now, it did say a couple of things about maintenance in the instructions. One is to soak it in distilled water, the electrode sort of part, or probe part, sorry. I'm not sure if it's an electrode. Put it in distilled water for a few hours in case it's dried out. And again, I'm not using distilled water, so maybe that's part of it, but it definitely picked up the first two calibrations really accurately. So I think it actually pretty much matched what I think my readings were supposed to be. There's our 4 readings, of course. Yeah, I think it was actually pretty damn accurate. Very surprised by that. Very surprised. I think for $16.99, it was actually pretty good. Now, obviously there'll be more expensive ones on the market that will be really super accurate. Whether you have to calibrate those, I'm not too sure. But I was pretty happy with the results for my hip pocket, for what I've got. And definitely going to give that another try in the future. I think when I have my shrimp tank set up to where I want it, going by the API readings, I'm going to give it another test, see how it comes up. But I think that was actually pretty accurate. I think it's pretty close to 6.2 to 6.4 reading on that tank, and the other ones actually seemed pretty accurate. So thanks for watching this video, the review on the PH pen, and thanks for visiting my science desk. And if you'd like, yeah, like I said, in the description below, I'm going to put a link to the playlist that this video is in. You can check out some of my other tanks and some of my other aquarium videos. And if I manage to somehow do it, I'll put a link to this actual pH reading device. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that, but if I can, I'll try and do that for you. Thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate everyone that watches any of my videos and checks out my channel. And a big thank you to all my subscribers. I hope you enjoyed the video and you'll check out some of my other videos. I've got videos, some of my other hobbies, some of my holidays, and just general life and everyday things that happen. So yeah, I hope you'll check them out. And if you have got any comments below, chuck them in. Always love feedback for my videos. Maybe you've got the pen, you've tested it yourself. What do you think of it? Do you think I did anything right or wrong, besides the obvious not using distilled water, in inverted commas? Besides that, yeah, I hope to catch you again soon in another video. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.